The accidental quarantine. I rushed to my ex-boyfriend's apartment to clear the air. We'd only been broken up for 2 days, but some things needed to be said face to face. What I didn't expect was to find her there, the girl he'd been seeing. What I really didn't expect were the hazmat suits in the hallway. COVID exposure in the building. Everyone present must quarantine in place for 14 days. The three of us stood frozen in the doorway. Wait, I don't actually live here. My voice cracked. Can I leave before no exceptions? CDC guidelines. He's my ex-boyfriend, I tried weakly. Ethan pulled me inside, flashing his dimpled smile at the workers. We'll cooperate fully. They logged our information and fled, as if staying another second would make them complicit in whatever fresh hell this was about to become. I turned to face them, forcing a laugh that came out strangled. So, I'll be crashing here for a few days. I promise I won't be in the way. His dark eyes sparked with amusement. No trouble at all. Tonight you'll sleep in my room. If I weren't here, they'd probably be halfway to couple territory by now. I'll take the living room floor, I said quickly. I run cold anyway. Ethan handed me a water bottle. I found myself staring at his hands' long fingers, careful movements. He leaned in, close enough that I could feel the warmth radiating off him. I'll take the floor. Sophie can have the guest room. Sophie was the other girl. Objectively gorgeous. The kind of pretty that made you understand why people wrote songs. Don't split up because of me, I said. Really? Sophie's face flushed red. Ethan looked at me with something between exasperation and amusement. She's not my girlfriend. You are. The silence that followed could have its own gravitational field. Could I borrow something to wear? I asked the next morning, sheepish. I don't have any changes of clothes. Help yourself. He waved toward his closet. Girlfriend privileges. I wanted to strangle him. Even I could read the way Sophie looked at him. His closet contained nothing but designer streetwear. I grabbed a white cotton t-shirt. As for pants, I pulled on one pair and gave up immediately. The waistband reached my chest. I rifled through his folded shorts and froze. Boxers. Designer boxers. Extra large. I was about to shove them back when the door burst open. Need help finding? He stopped, eyes landing on the fabric in my hands. His pupils dilated. You. It was an accident. I panicked, nearly hiding my face with them. His mouth curved. Should I believe you didn't mean it when you used me as a human shield either? That had been a complete misunderstanding. I'd been buying desserts when my cheating ex showed up with his new girlfriend, rubbing it in my face. In a moment of pure impulse, I'd borrowed the handsome guy behind the counter for some revenge theater. I came to apologize for that, I said. And to thank you for playing along. I never agreed to break up. His smile deepened. You're still my girlfriend. And now you're trying on my underwear? I wasn't trying them on, I grabbed the wrong thing. In my frustration, I flung them at him. He didn't catch or dodge. They landed squarely on his head. The designer logo faced outward. I wanted to die. He pulled them off, surprisingly calm, still smiling. Nice throw. Wrong head, though. Heat flooded my face. He crossed the room, pulled out basketball shorts, and dropped them on my head. Wear these instead. After my shower, I stared at my reflection. White oversized t-shirt, baggy shorts, messy hair. If not for modest curves, I could pass for a teenage boy. Sophie was out there in a matching silk pajama set with a strategic slit in the shorts. I snapped a photo and sent it to my best friend. She exploded emergency delivery tomorrow. We will not lose this battle. True to her word, the next day workers hauled up a huge box. Ethan helped me open it. Inside crop tops and bodycon dresses. My best friend was trying to kill me. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Still claiming you're not interested? Sophie rescued me, offering her own slate blue loungewear. Just wear mine for now. When I tried it on, I had a problem. The V-neck showed décolletage I wasn't prepared to present. Worse, it was tight. Ethan called in an order. Women's loungewear, 2 colors, 1 set each. Size is. He recited my measurements over the phone. How do you know my size? Visual estimation. I refused to let him win. In my sweetest voice, I purred, hands-on measurement is more accurate. He moved closer, backing me against the wall. That handsome face stopped inches away. I could see the fine stubble on his jaw. My breathing scattered. He leaned down, voice low by my ear. I don't handle temptation well. If you keep saying things like that. A deliberate cough interrupted us. Sophie stood in the doorway, eyes mournful. I jumped back like I'd been electrocuted. Just came to call you for lunch, she said quietly. I need to charge my phone. I fled. Opening my phone, I saw my class group chat had exploded. The president was reminding everyone about final assignments. My head started spinning. I was an art major. My assignment was figure drawing, specifically nude figure studies. I'd completely forgotten. The president was merciless. If you don't turn it in, expect to fail. I was quarantined. Where was I supposed to find a life model? Riley, come eat. Ethan called. I slowly turned, gazing at that flawless face. A bold idea formed. I waited until Sophie went for her nap, then pulled Ethan into the kitchen. After explaining, he smiled. That's all? You're agreeing? I couldn't process it. Sure. His lips curved mischievously. But I'm doing you a huge favor. How are you going to repay me? I bit my lip. What do you want? Just call me something sweet. My fists clenched. Why are you glaring? Is that how you ask for favors? He pressed forward. Sophie will wake up soon. Can I call you something else? How about honey? Be serious. He ruffled my hair. Fine. Since you're so embarrassed, you can do that later. For now, let's handle your project. I contacted my friend for emergency art supplies. Along with them came several eye-searing male model outfits I immediately hid. That night after Sophie's light went out, I called Ethan into my room. The drawing materials were ready. He immediately started to undress. The moment his abs appeared, I stopped him. Wait. I'll step out while you finish. I fled, face burning. Ready. I took several deep breaths and pushed the door open. He wore only athletic shorts, physique tall and lean, every muscle clearly defined. Those abs looked carved from marble. Muscles really were the best outfit a man could wear. Do I need to wear this too? He bent down, pulling something from the box. My best friend was sabotaging me. That's not necessary. I snatched it and threw it back. He sighed. All right. Though it's pretty minimal. I turned to close the window, trying to distract myself. The cold breeze was useless. My face still felt like fire. He'd already positioned himself. Is this okay? His long lashes were devastating. The pose needs adjusting. Let me help you. I don't mean anything by it. His lips curved. It's fine if you do. I was so nervous I barely breathed, carefully adjusting his position while avoiding unnecessary contact. Tess. He sucked in a breath. My fingertip had grazed his abs, leaving a faint red mark. I'd split a nail. Hold on. He stood and walked to a cabinet. Before I could process it, he was back, holding nail clippers. Give me your right hand. He took my hand and gently filed down the split nail. I was stunned. Besides my dad, no other man had ever been this considerate. We were so close. His subtle cologne was intoxicating. If I leaned forward slightly, my nose would brush his chest. I didn't dare look up. Eventually, I couldn't resist. I raised my eyes quietly. Under the light, his dark hair seemed to glow, long lashes casting shadows. Even in stillness, he was captivating. The actual drawing took forever. My head was foggy. When he could finally move, he rolled his stiff shoulders. Feeling guilty, I handed him water. He smiled. Is that all the thanks I get? What do you want? And holding that pose made my shoulders sore. How about a massage? He turned and lay face down on the bed, broad back suddenly filling my vision. I climbed onto the bed, face red, and symbolically kneaded his shoulders. Knock, knock, knock. Sophie's voice called out. My internal alarms blared. I grabbed his clothes and tossed them to him, whispering urgently, put these on and hide by the closet. I cracked the door open. Sophie smiled sweetly. Could I borrow a phone charger? Mine burned out. Oh, sure. I grabbed it from the table and handed it over, my body tense. Have you seen Ethan? She glanced into the room. No, isn't he sleeping in the living room? Sophie shook her head. I saw the bathroom light on. Charger acquired, she left. I closed the door and turned around. He was lying in my bed, covers pulled up. I rushed over and felt a pile of fabric. His clothes. What are you doing? I was afraid Sophie would come in. I've already been seen by you. I can't let her see me too. Get out. Ah, no. I gave up. I grabbed another blanket and placed a rolled cushion between us as a barrier. Despite having dated my ex, I had zero hands-on experience. This was my first time sharing a bed with a man. Before long, his breathing evened out. I set 4 or 5 alarms, needing to get him up before Sophie woke. Surrounded by his fresh cologne, I somehow fell peacefully asleep. When I woke up, Ethan was gone. I grabbed my phone. 9 a.m. Not a single alarm had gone off. Riley, breakfast is ready. I forced myself to act natural. Breakfast was already laid out. On the table was avocado toast, my favorite. You made this? I glanced at Ethan. He nodded. Yeah. I remember someone comes to my bakery every week to buy one. My heart warmed. Then Sophie went to the kitchen, and he leaned close. I was worried if you didn't get to eat it, you might eat me instead. My heart thundered. My phone rang. Unknown number. I realized it was my ex. Why was he calling? I answered. His mocking laugh came through immediately. Hey, heard you got quarantined and don't even have enough clothes? Need me to send supplies? My fist clenched. He was calling for revenge. Sure, I said coldly. And when I'm done with them, I'll send them right back to you. Riley, aren't you embarrassed? I was about to snap back when Ethan plucked the phone from my hand. Ethan took the phone. My ex kept ranting, not realizing who he was talking to. Ethan's expression stayed calm. Dude, shut up. Silence. After a few seconds, who are you? I'm the guy she's with now. I doubled over with laughter. My ex found his voice. You're just that bakery owner. I'll come to your store every day. We reserve the right to refuse service. Taksha, my girlfriend is way better looking than her. Between Riley and your girlfriend. Ethan glanced at me meaningfully. There's only about $100,000 worth of work, I'd say. I burst out laughing. My ex screamed obscenities. Ethan put the phone to his lips. Don't harass her again. He hung up and returned my phone. Already blocked him for you. I didn't upset you by saying that, did I? Of course not. Ethan sighed, eyes full of mock melancholy. I was worried you might still have feelings for him. Impossible. Even if he begged, I wouldn't look twice. Well, that's good to hear. Ethan's expression cleared, dark eyes warm. My heart pounded. Then I met Sophie's dim gaze. My racing heart cooled. Through subtle inquiries, I pieced together their relationship. Childhood friends. He ran a bakery, she owned a cafe. The day of quarantine, they'd been comparing recipes when I showed up. Ethan, could you check if I'm doing this correctly? Sophie's gentle voice pulled me back. I watched him practically bounce into the kitchen. Unable to resist, I glanced over. He stood close, leaning down, the two of them laughing. They looked intimate. Sophie's chocolate souffle was naturally a success. She gave me the first bite. I took a big spoonful. Delicious. She smiled gracefully, tasted a small bite, nodded with satisfaction. First time making it, I owe you for this. She beamed at Ethan. He smiled. You're just naturally talented. Not true, you're a great teacher. My heart felt heavy. I didn't even have the right to be jealous. That night I woke up parched. 1 a.m., but the small lamp on the balcony was still on. I was desperately thirsty, but after one step I heard a gentle voice from the living room. A little lower. I froze. I turned and saw something that stopped my heart. In the hazy moonlight, Ethan and Sophie were on the balcony. He was bending down while she stood on tiptoe, tilting her head up. They were about to kiss. I quickly turned and fled back to my room. The moment I closed the door, overwhelming loss crashed over me. His care had given me the illusion he liked me. But it wasn't real. The next morning, I ate in silence. Didn't sleep well? He asked. No. You have dark circles. He reached out to touch my forehead. I swatted his hand away instinctively. He paused, confusion in his eyes. I'm fine. Just that time of the month. He nodded. I'll check on Sophie, she hasn't come out yet. He got up and knocked on Sophie's door. They'd already kissed. He could just walk right in. I'm not feeling well. I'll come out later. Sophie's voice was weak. We pushed the door open. Sophie was curled up, face pale. Ethan quickly went to her bedside. "Is your stomach acting up again?" Sophie nodded weakly. "Do you have medicine?" "In the pocket of the jacket on the living room coat rack." "I'll get it," I volunteered. I found the medicine. But I also found 2 concert tickets dated for the day we'd been quarantined. I felt terrible. I'd ruined their plans. After Sophie took her medicine, Ethan filled hot water bottles. He handed one to me. "What's this for?" "You said you were on your period. In case you get cramps." His kindness toward me was just convenient. With Sophie unwell, the living room felt awkward. I retreated to my room and vented to my best friend. A knock at my door interrupted me. I opened it. Those captivating eyes stared at me. He handed me a steaming mug. "Made you ginger tea. Drink it while it's hot. You sure know a lot, must have experience." Ethan took a deep breath. "I don't know anything." I went and asked Sophie. My heart sank. He'd asked Sophie such personal questions. "Thanks." I started to close the door. He blocked it with his arm. "Bad mood?" "No, just not feeling well." My phone lit up with a message, a new collectible series. "You like collectibles?" He glanced over. "Yeah." "Why are you asking?" "Just curious." His lips curved, dimples showing. "Keep resting. I'll call you when lunch is ready." Letting him cook alone felt wrong. After hesitating, I went out to help. He refused to let me touch cold water, bustling around alone while I stood by uselessly. Sophie was his perfect match. And me? I was nothing. After lunch, Ethan asked me to take Sophie her meal. Confused, shouldn't he be doing that? I walked into the bedroom. Sophie's color had improved. She smiled gracefully. "Thank you." "Ethan's probably busy, so he asked me to bring this." Disappointment flickered across her face. After eating a bit, her color improved noticeably. "I'm full." "That's barely anything." She nodded. "I have a small appetite." I pinched my round cheeks and sighed. "You and Ethan." I was about to leave when Sophie spoke. Worried she'd misunderstand, I quickly explained. "Actually, I've been buying pastries from his bakery for years." That day, I grabbed him as a shield. "It's nothing compared to you two being childhood friends." Sophie sighed softly, looking into my eyes. "What good does being childhood friends do? All these years, he's only ever loved one person." That answer was completely unexpected. Walking to the living room, Sophie's words echoed in my ears. Such a wonderful woman. Yet Ethan's heart belonged to someone else. I found Ethan video chatting. "She's at my place. I'm taking good care of her, don't worry." Seeing me, he said goodbye and ended the call. "Who was that?" My mom." "Quarantine ends in a couple days, she said she'll come by." He'd been talking about Sophie. "Let's eat." He stood and uncovered the dishes. "I'm not hungry. I'll head back to my room." Over the next few days, I deliberately kept my distance. He sensed it. Strangely, he didn't ask questions. Though we still ate together, conversation had noticeably decreased. Tomorrow we'd be free. I should have been thrilled, but my spirits wouldn't lift. After showering, I looked at myself in the mirror. My hair had grown out, looking wild. I asked to borrow scissors. "What are you doing?" Ethan suddenly appeared behind me. "Cutting my hair." He studied me for a long moment, then sighed. "Give me the scissors. I'll cut it." "You can? If you want to be presentable tomorrow, hand them over." I gave him the scissors obediently. His gentle voice reached my ear. "Relax. I'll make you look beautiful." In the mirror, his posture was straight, eyes lowered, long lashes casting shadows. He occasionally looked up, those bright eyes stirring ripples in my heart. "You know how to cut hair too?" "My family used to own a salon." I was surprised. "I've been buying from you for years." How did I not know? That was my dad's turning lifeline. My parents divorced later. After a few seconds of silence, his tone remained steady. "After quarantine ends, I won't have to be your fake boyfriend anymore, right?" I took a deep breath, half joking. "Right. You'll finally be free." The scissors stopped. After a brief pause, his voice carried emotion. "Is that really what you want?" Today we were finally free. Ethan walked me downstairs in silence. Yesterday when he'd asked that question, I hadn't answered. Sometimes not answering was an answer. This is for you. He handed me a small box. What's this? Strawberry shortcake. You like it, right? I got up early to make it. I glanced at the dark circles under his eyes. Sophie came down, her damp hair still wet. Even with a mask, her beautiful eyes showed she was stunning. She and Ethan standing side by side, they were genuinely a perfect match. How could you leave without saying goodbye? Sophie's tone held mild reproach. You'd just gotten in the shower. I was worried about keeping the driver waiting. Her eyes curved warmly. Let's follow each other on Instagram. Just as we finished, 3 beaming adults walked toward us. Mom. Mom, Dad. Ethan and Sophie spoke simultaneously. Their families clearly knew each other. Watching their happy reunion, I stood stiffly, awkward. I checked my rideshare app. 2 minutes away. Dear, do you remember me? Mrs. Hayes suddenly turned to me with a warm smile. Of course, I've been buying bread from your bakery for years. Mrs. Hayes beamed. During quarantine, Ethan didn't give you trouble, did he? I squeezed my cheeks. No, he was very good to me. Mrs. Hayes took my hand, eyes showing approval. Wonderful. Come upstairs for lunch. How could I dare? My ride arrived is less than #0. 3 is greater than. I quickly climbed in. As the car started, I waved. Mrs. Hayes seemed to be saying something, but I couldn't hear anymore. Back home, I couldn't feel happy. I was restless, obsessively checking their social media. Both feeds were barren. I vented to my group chat. My friend who'd sent supplies messaged privately, Riley, have you considered that maybe you've been running away? I deflated, frozen. He was too perfect. Perhaps only someone like Sophie deserved him. That night, Ethan updated his Instagram professionally styled strawberry shortcake. An ad for a new menu item. My heart stirred. His bakery had never sold it before. Probably reading too much into it. The next day, after a long battle, I couldn't resist going to his bakery. The shop filled with female customers. He wore a constant smile, handsome features curved into gentle warmth. He didn't need to do anything. Just standing there was enough. I stood outside the glass, watching as women surrounded him. He maintained perfect boundaries. Watching him in that baker's coat, so gentle, I felt momentarily dazed. Hard to connect him with the guy who constantly teased me. After hesitating forever, I didn't go in. Too many women liked him, gorgeous, incredible figures. And me? Average-looking, unremarkable, broke. If I were a man, I wouldn't give myself a second glance. The next day, Sophie called. Ethan got in a fight. Go bail him out. It's because of you. That sentence echoed the entire way. When I arrived, I heard 2 men had brawled over a young woman. The young woman was me. The officer was shocked seeing me disheveled and makeup-free. Ethan had a bruise at the corner of his mouth. My ex looked worse, covered in dirt. They reminded me of 2 dogs fighting, glaring at each other. Ethan threw the first punch. My ex was refusing mediation. I sighed, put on a show of looking fragile, and pulled my ex aside. Could we just let this go? My ex objected, rolling his eyes. Riley, I dated you for 3 months. How come you're not telling him to let it go? What if I apologize on his behalf? He fell silent. After a long moment, fine. This time, I'll let it slide. I patted my chest. I swear there won't be a next time. Whatever. He paused, sighed. I have to admit, your taste improved. He treats you better than I did. After finishing paperwork, as I was about to call a car, he grabbed my wrist. Walk with me. His intense gaze landed on my face. Scared? I laughed awkwardly. What's there to be scared of? Then let's go. He turned and walked forward, never releasing my wrist. I felt this wasn't appropriate and pulled my hand back. He turned, stunned, eyes becoming as deep as the ocean. Riley, what exactly do you want from me? His tone was displeased. You have Sophie. This isn't right. His frown deepened. If you don't like me, just say so. Why drag Sophie into this? That night, I saw everything. What night? I genuinely have no idea what you're talking about. The night I made strawberry shortcake, I saw you 2 on the balcony, about to kiss. His eyes flashed with surprise. You misunderstood. That night I asked her to help me apply medicine. I froze. I'm allergic to strawberries. That day when you made it, I didn't dare eat it at first, but I couldn't bear to disappoint you, so I tried a bite. Why didn't you tell me? He smiled, ruffling my hair. If I'd told you, you would have felt guilty. I didn't expect even one small bite would cause a reaction. That night my neck was so itchy I couldn't stand it. I didn't want you to know, so I asked Sophie to help. A light bulb went off. So the mark wasn't a hickey. What are you thinking? I've never even given anyone a hickey. Though, he leaned closer, warm breath hitting my skin. If it were you, I'd be willing. I quickly pushed him away. Riley. His voice was gentle. He took my hand, warmth spreading from our palms. Would you consider being mine? This time when he took my hand, I didn't refuse. But remembering Sophie's words, I couldn't fully embrace the joy. I told my group chat everything. My friends shed tears of joy. But I still had unresolved feelings. He treats you well, what else matters? You can't force these things. Give him time. While I was conflicted, Ethan messaged, come to the bakery early tomorrow. I have a surprise. My worries were overtaken by curiosity. What surprise? Just come tomorrow morning. The next morning, bombarded by alarms, I moved at maximum speed. I tried channeling Sophie's sophisticated style. Blouse, wide leg pants, white sneakers. I took a selfie and sent it to the group. Unanimous verdict. The outfit is risky, but your personality keeps it safe. Whatever. I arrived at the bakery. Ethan was methodically working. Only after he finished did I push the door open. He walked over, ruffling my hair. You look beautiful today. He paused. Actually, you look beautiful every day. Tonighty, what about that surprise? He smiled, opened a cabinet, and pulled out a rectangular box covered with cloth. The moment I pulled off the cloth, my whole body trembled. Inside was the collectible figure display case I'd been coveting, a complete set. My inner fangirl exploded. He leaned against the table. Like it? I nodded frantically. How did you know? I saw you chatting about it, so I asked friends to help me find them. Finally collected the whole set. I nearly burst into tears, not because of the collectibles, but the thoughtfulness. They're so cute. I stared at the display case. But none as cute as you. I widened my eyes. Liar. Even if I'm lying, I'm only lying to someone special. After a moment of silence, he said seriously, actually, I've liked you for a very long time. I froze, finally voicing the question plaguing me. Sophie told me there's someone in your heart. He raised an eyebrow, laughing softly. That's true, but she doesn't know that person is you. My heart raced as I stared at him. I'm not lying. I've really liked you for so long. Do you remember years ago when you stood up for my mom? His eyes swept around, voice tinged with nostalgia. I suddenly remembered something from 3 years ago. 3 years ago, when I came to buy cake, I saw a woman arguing with Mrs. Hayes. Something about property. The woman was aggressive. After a few exchanges, she shoved Mrs. Hayes to the ground. I couldn't stand by. I rushed over to protect her and argued with the woman. For a while after, the woman came every day, protesting at the shop entrance. I rallied classmates to buy pastries in solidarity and helped her find free legal consultation online. Eventually, the woman stopped coming. And I gained weight. Ethan sighed. That woman was my dad's second wife. My dad passed away. She wanted the salon, but it was registered under my mom's name. Did she get it? I know. That shop was my mom's investment. I exhaled in relief. Where were you? Away at college. By the time I found out, everything was resolved. He ruffled my hair. If not for you, my mom would have been bullied terribly. My face burned. I didn't really do anything. Yes, you did. If you hadn't posted online, bringing concerned people and free legal aid, she never would have given up. Tan is so. You've liked me since then? I couldn't believe it. He looked at me, clear eyes shining. Later, I came back to help at the bakery. That girl kept coming to buy pastries. She was kind and sweet. Every time she'd buy extra coffee and pastries to leave for strangers. I had an epiphany. So that's why you always gave me discounts. He nodded with a smile. Exactly. I pouted. I thought it was a store promotion. He pinched my cheeks. That was a promotion exclusively for you. Then one day, that girl came in with a boyfriend. I thought I'd lost my chance. I could only watch from afar. But soon after, she broke up with him. During that time, she came to the shop every day for desserts. My face burned hotter. Later, she broke up, then actually pulled me in as a fake boyfriend. That was one thing, but then a couple days later, she showed up trying to break up with me. He paused, lips curving. So, don't you think we should have a proper talk now? I stood on my tiptoes and threw my arms around him, nuzzling against his chest. Besides dating, what else is there to talk about? The end.